Hey, John from FatStacks here. In this video, I'm going to set out the reasons that I've decided not to build a private blog network for my niche sites. All right, this is, you could view this as the case against, reasons against. It's not that I am morally opposed to a private blog network. It's strictly a business decision. All right, so here he is. Here's one of my niche sites that does pretty good on the traffic side of things. Let's see, we've got August 20, so it's about 30 days, 2014, had about 108,000. This site is now up to about 120, 125,000 organic search visits per month. Okay, this is without a PBN. It's a popular site, a lot of social media action, a lot of content, but I haven't gone out to build a single backlink. So it's possible. Of course, the question that remains is, well, how much traffic would I have had without a PBN? I guess I won't know, at least for the time being, because I'm not building one. All right, so the reason number one obviously is risk. Google Penguin updates. I don't need that. I don't want sleepless nights. I don't want to worry about with every update. Here's the thing, all right? I know that I would probably take shortcuts if I built a PBN. That's just me. I just know it because I don't really care for the work, which I'm also going to explain that later. But you know, there are people who build PBNs who are meticulous, who plan every detail, who are very, very careful, who do not take shortcuts. As a result, they have about as near of a bulletproof PBN as you can get. I suspect most people don't go to the lengths that are necessary, and if they have problems, it's because they failed to do so. They failed to do what was necessary. All right, the other issue is how many links. How many links do you need? Is it going to be 2? Is it going to be 10? Is it going to be 30? You know, in order to rank for the intended keyword and get traffic to it and monetize it. All right, so you don't know from the outset. So it's sort of like your ROI is really up in there. You have no clue. And of course, most of business is you can plan and you can, you know, anticipate and guess, but you never know. So you know, obviously SEO is not unique in that being an issue, but you really do have to wonder. Now, the longer you do SEO and if you do build lots of PBNs and so forth, you'll get pretty good at figuring out what's going to be needed, but when you're starting out, you're not going to know. All right, revenue is uncertain, okay? Just because you get your intended keyword ranked to the top of the organic search, is it going to make $300 a month or is it going to make $18,000 a month? You don't know. I think you can generally get a pretty good idea, but you're never really going to know. And then, of course, there's the how well does your website convert in terms of whether you're looking to make money from display ads, whether you're looking to promote an affiliate product, whether you're running an e-commerce website. You know, you're going to have these issues. Now, obviously, once you are ranked and you're getting traffic, you can do some conversion testing, but you're never going to know how much the page is ultimately going to make. Next up is competition. Not only do you have to deal with Google and Google updates and changing ranking factors, but you're going to have competition that wants to boot you out. You're going to have competition that you knocked out, who's going to want back, and it's a never-ending merry-go-round. And maybe you like competition. Maybe it's a game to you and it's a lot of fun and you get a kick out of it. You know, then go for it. Remember, I'm not saying not to build PBNs. I'm just explaining why, you know, as a business decision, I chose not to for my niche sites. Google changes the game. Of course, they do the Penguin updates, but there's also new ranking factors that come into play over time. Now, I think links as a ranking factor are going to be important for quite a while because Google obviously is investing a lot of time and money into link spam and detecting it and so forth. So I think that links are going to count for quite some time. I'm not one of those who's saying link building's dead and it's all social media, because I don't think that's true. Now, the other side of the coin is that, you know, they are investing into new link spam detection capabilities, which is an issue because maybe what is now a bulletproof PBN may in 2 years not be bulletproof, may be detected, and who knows how it could be detected, but I mean, it could happen, right? Okay, here's another issue I have is not easy monetizing network sites. I actually got the wheels in motion to start a small network. It wasn't going to be a PBN. I was actually going to build related niche sites as actual business entities, as real sites. I was going to, you know, build up social media, it's going to get traffic and monetize and the whole thing, and it's actually going to be, and I could send traffic to my other site and so forth. I mean, I think that's a legitimate way to do it. I even talked to the AdSense rep that I have about, can I use AdSense on a new site that's related to my existing site? He said absolutely if the content's unique. So Google doesn't have an issue with that. The issue is if you're building a pure PBN, you're building sites that are used to link to a money site for ranking purposes. You don't really care whether you get traffic on your network sites or anything like that. Google has an issue because it's manipulating it. I don't have an issue with it, except as a business decision. So the issue I have is if I'm going to go out and build 5 other sites, right, and I build them, if I were to build them purely to rank my money site, that's okay. But if I wanted to do both, if I wanted to monetize those network sites and link to my money site, that leaves a footprint, and that's an issue, right? You can't obviously use AdSense. You can't use other ad networks because you get publishing IDs, and same with affiliate links. So it's a bit of an issue. If you're going to build a pure PBN network, you're probably going to have a hard time monetizing it. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's not going to be easy. And if you do monetize it, you're going to leave a footprint of some sort. So you're gonna have to weigh that. So those are the issues. And of course, now if I went out and did it, if I built a network of sites and I intended to build them up, and I linked to my money site, I would probably link with a no follow to be a safe. And obviously, then I'm building as separate earning entities and not as a vehicle to rank my money site. You have to be very, very careful when you plan and build a PBN. Your cost structure can escalate exponentially very, very quickly. All right, if you start with 5 websites and you get 2 web hosts and you have to obviously then get 5 domains, that cost is manageable. Think about what happens when you have 100 web hosts and you have 300 domains and the content requirements. Okay, this stuff renews every year. Web hosts will renew. So if you have 100 web hosts that renew, that is a $10,000 bill. Your domain renewals at 300, well, that's a $3,000 bill every year. So you just have a annual overhead cost of $13,000, not including the content requirements and the outsourcing. So these costs can get very, very expensive. You need to be making sure, obviously, that your ROI is going to be positive in order to maintain that kind of overhead structure. Finally, a big issue is it's kind of boring work. If I were to build additional sites, I'd build them as real sites, and I enjoy that, and I would use my social media accounts and build that up and get traffic and monetize them. But if you're going to build a pure technical PBN, you got a lot of domain research looking for the right expired domains and with the authority, and you got lots of technical details to minimize or eliminate your footprint. There's a lot of tracking about where you're linked to and from where and so forth. You're going to have to go back and change the hypertext, and you can go back and fix sites, or you're going to remove them from the network, on and on and on and on. It's a very, very meticulous job. It can be very boring. You need to be very, very careful. If you do everything that you possibly can to set it up properly, you can probably build them pretty much bulletproof. The trouble is, and I think knowing myself, I would probably do some shortcuts. I think a lot of people do take shortcuts, and that's where you can run into problems. So those are the reasons I'm not doing a private blog network right now. Like I said, I may build additional sites within a niche as separate entities. Who knows, things can change. Maybe down the road I will have a different view. It's a business decision at this point in time. If you're thinking about a private blog network, these are the reasons to consider not to. There are obviously really good reasons to go ahead and build a private blog network, because they can obviously really do well in help ranking websites. So lots of people who use them extensively and have for a long time and have a great deal of success with it.